Welcome to the Caregiving Podcast. I'm Inga.
And I'm Julie.
And long story short, we have Caregiving. We are two momtrepreneurs who have built an in-home care business from the ground up, guided every step of the way by God's care and fueled by agape love. Almost 14 years later, we felt called to create this podcast as a resource for families with caregiving needs. Whether you care for a family member or are looking for advice on professional caregiving, we want this to be a platform to support you.
Each week, we will come to you with encouraging stories of families who have found the right balance for their loved ones, tips for how to care for them and you, and much more. We hope you continue to join us each week as we share in this exciting new journey together.
Hello, Sunshines, and hello, Julie. How are you?
I am so good today.
Awesome. Hello, Susan.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing great.
Good. We're so happy to have you here, and we'll give a little introduction a little bit later on. So you just hold
Hang
on to
in
your
there.
pants, man.
But-
You're in for a good ride.
Like Inga said, we are so excited you are here.
Oh my goodness, Julie.
Yes.
Holidays are coming.
Holidays are coming.
And what are you doing about it?
Well, so far I've ate 5 pounds of Halloween candy that was supposed to be for the trick-or-treaters. Thanksgiving, we talked about the bird, and Christmas, I actually have picked up a few things, but then I have to make sure I don't give them before the Christmas.
You know what I have a tendency to do? I always think, okay, I'm going to start my Christmas shopping early so that I'm not rushed at the end. And actually what ends up happening is I just keep shopping all the way to the end. So Christmas is great for my girls generally. But I've tried to refrain this year a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
What about you, Susan?
I wait till the last minute.
Good girl.
And I go and shop till midnight, and then I'm done.
I love it. It works. It works.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. So we have a pretty cool verse this week. And I think you picked it, Julie, because of how it kind of ties into the mission statement of the Agency on Aging.
Yes.
Which will all make a lot more sense here shortly.
Yes, yes.
The verse this week is actually John 15:12. My command is this, love each other as I have loved you. And you picked this verse because of the mission statement of the Agency on Aging.
Yeah.
We help older adults with what's important to them by providing the services, information, and resources they need to live well at every age.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
I know.
Give yourself a little pat on the back.
I'm going to.
That was a good one.
Yeah. I just, Agency on Aging is just so important.
Yes.
And for them, it's just totally all about John 15:12.
Yeah. Yep, that was a good one. So listeners out there, if you have a verse that you would like to share with us and have a meaning, please email it to us. You can send that to the caregivingpodcast@gmail.com. If you just want to share the verse and you want us to put our own meaning to it, we're happy with that too. Just get them sent in, again, to the caregivingpodcast@gmail.com.
Good.
I think we'll move into our uplifting stories. We got to hurry through that so we can get to the conversation of the day.
Oh, well, knowing Susan, she is a wealth of knowledge.
I know. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
What's your story?
Well, I'm going to talk about Kurt Van Gut. Van Gut. Don't know where he's from. Anyway, I like his name. He tells his wife he's going out to buy an envelope. Oh, she says, well, you're not a poor man. Why don't you just go online and buy 100 envelopes and put them in the closet? And so I pretend not to hear her and go out to get the envelope because I'm going to have a hell of a good time in the process of buying one envelope. I meet a lot of people and see some great looking babies. And a fire engine goes by and I give them the thumbs up. And I'll ask a woman what kind of a dog that is. And I don't know. The moral of the story is we're here on earth to fart around. And of course, the computers will do us out of that. And what the computer people don't realize or they don't care is we're dancing animals. We love to move around and it's like we're not supposed to dance at all anymore. Let's all get up and move around a bit right now, or at least dance.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Yeah. I like to fart around.
I know I was going to say, I always thought that might be the meaning of life. We're just here to fart around.
Well, and that was from good old Kurt Von Gut.
Good job. Where'd you find that one? Who knows? You
I
found it. That's what matters.
In the interweb.
Yep. Good job. I like that one. Well, I always love stories that hit close to home. Mm-hmm. So anytime they come up, I'm going to darn sure have it as my good news story. So this one is actually about a girl who reunites with her lost teddy bear a year later, thanks to a caring park ranger.
Oh.
And this actually happened in Glacier National Park. A year ago this October, young Naomi Pascal lost her favorite toy Teddy while hiking with her family on Hidden Lake Trail in Glacier National Park. Pretty much almost back to Big Fork, and we realized, I think Naomi was the one that realized the Teddy was missing, said Naomi's dad, Ben Pascal. Teddy was no average bear, holding deep significance to Naomi as he was the first gift she received from her new family before being adopted from an Ethiopian orphanage in 2016.
Oh.
Yeah, we have lots of pictures of her getting the bear, and that was definitely her first toy. And so it was really special that she was able to have that until we were able to go and meet her in person, said Naomi's mom, Addie Pascal. After a big snowstorm, Glacier National Park Ranger Tom Mazzarisi stumbled upon Teddy while he was out on patrol. On our way up, I noticed this little teddy bear, kind of with the snow still melting off of it, a little bit off of the trail. Despite being weathered from the storm, Ranger Mazzarisi decided to hold onto the Teddy and placed him on his patrol car dashboard, dignifying Teddy, his vehicle's unofficial mascot. Perfect little spot, sat upright looking out the front windshield. For close to a year, Teddy sat proudly front and center on the patrol car dashboard, helping keep a watchful eye out for bears and other wild animals. Fast forward to last week, a family friend of the Pascals happened to be hiking in Glacier National Park and noticed Teddy sitting on the patrol car dashboard. They just happened upon this ranger truck randomly, and her niece saw Teddy in the dashboard, and they texted a picture of Teddy to Naomi's mom and basically said, "Is this the bear?" And she was like, "Yep, it's the bear." Soon after, Ben and Addie broke the news to Naomi that Teddy was coming home. I felt excited because I didn't know I was going to ever see him again, said Naomi. A few days later, Teddy was express mailed to the Pascal family home in Jackson, Wyoming, back in Naomi's loving arms where he belongs. And the mom said, "You got just a little bit excited, I think, just like a tiny bit excited." She was jumping up and down. She was so excited. So the ranger said he was more than happy to keep Teddy company this last year, and he does hope to meet Naomi in person one day for a Teddy reunion back in Glacier National Park. But it would just be great to talk to her and her family and just kind of tell them some stories from our travels together last year.
Oh my gosh.
Is that crazy?
Oh, that's
what
the
are the
cutest
odds?
thing. Oh, yeah. That teddy bear had a wonderful year after it got defrosted.
Yes. And I mean, how lucky for that girl, Naomi, to get her teddy bear back.
Cute.
So, right here in Glacier National Park.
Yeah, that is an awesome story.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on. Today, we have a guest speaker with us. This is Susan Kunda, and Susan is with the Area Agency on Aging. So I'll just let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, well, I've been 35 years with Agency on Aging, so I'm going for a record, I think. I love it there. I think what we do is so important, and I want to tell you that the mission statement really sums it up. The mission of the Area 9 Agency on Aging is to serve people by enabling persons 60 years of age and older to lead independent, meaningful, and dignified lives. All of our services to accomplish these goals are on a donation basis. In other words, you pay what you can afford toward the cost of services. And that's really huge because I don't know anybody else that does that. Mm-hmm. And it's always interesting. Some of the people we serve call and want to cancel because they can't afford it. And when I say, yes, you can afford it because it's a donation. And I've had people call and say, I think people need it more than I do. Oh. And I said, I don't think so. So sometimes we have to almost make them accept services on a donation basis. And that's kind of a different way to think about things. I'm going to just go through these, not fast by any means, but give you just a capsule of what the main programs are. The nutrition programs through our agency, there's a congregate meal site, and we're at 40 11th Street West. We have a huge dining room. It's the first one we've really had that could meet all our needs. Mm-hmm. And so they serve lunch there 5 days a week. And then we still do the Meals on Wheels out of there. I think we're up to about 400 a day, but don't hold me to that. So Big Fork, and we have the senior center in our office, Lakeside and Whitefish all have Meals on Wheels and a congregate site up in their communities. sometimes you can get transportation there, but it's something you have to check on. And again, the Meals on Wheels are so important because not just giving them nutrition. There's eyes and ears on that person 5 days a week, and you would be surprised what we learn. And we have to sometimes do a home visit and see what's going on. And some of these people would never talk or see anybody if it wasn't for our drivers. So it's just a good program. We now have a senior center in our building, which we've never had before, and it's awesome. We have a whole workout room where people do exercises. They have knitting classes. It's just amazing. So it's just fun to come see what we have over there. You'll love it. I'm going to talk very briefly about our transportation service because it just changed. I'm not sure I know what I'm talking about. So it used to be Eagle Transit. It's now Mountain Climber.
Oh, that's
and
right.
no, they don't climb mountains. They just, that's their new name. And they do have fixed routes. But again, you have to make an appointment. They go Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. But again, you have to make an appointment. That's important. $1 one way. Pretty much what it was before. And they do have service in Columbia Falls on Tuesday only, and Whitefish rest of the week, but on demand again. The fares are $1 one way, so hopefully everything is, affordable for people. The other thing we have that has been put together years ago was we have a lot of outreach type brochures that we put together, and one of them is financial assistance, so it goes into food stamps, low-income housing, energy assistance, Medicaid, tax help, gives you all the sources and how to get hold of people to help you with those things. Our housing list is pretty much a gamble, I'm sorry to say. There are not enough subsidized and non-subsidized. Section 8 does help with that. However, people basically are standing in line. We need more subsidized apartments. So I have a volunteer that just constantly scours the area, calls, and we now know one place has an opening, and I quickly tell the person waiting in line that there's an opening, run get it. Long-term care, we do in-home services. It's changed a little bit. We do, housekeeping, a lot of respite for, say, a spouse is taking care of his wife and needs a little bit of a break. The person coming in will stay there, and the man can go shopping or whatever he wants to do. He can go take a nap. Some of them, that's all they need. It's just a break. So I think that's really an important thing. We do a little bit escorted transportation, but not too much anymore. And then we have legal service, which is 2 attorneys that have donated time to us, and you can get a 30-minute pro bono appointment, meaning it's free. Now, you may get the 30 minutes and get everything you need. If not, then you will be referred on to an attorney. But they try to give you everything you can get for free. I'll just break this down a little bit on the homemaker services. The one thing they need to know is the client has to have the cleaning supplies and equipment and must be home when the service is provided. That's extremely important. And we don't do major spring cleaning. We're not up on ladders doing the eaves. I mean, it really is just the lower level, do the dishes, do the laundry, whatever it takes. And for some people, that's a big deal because if the laundry room is in the basement, sometimes that's a scary thing for some people as they get older. Escort transportation basically is 2 medical appointments. And the respite, of course, I explained that. The other thing we put together is something called the Home Helper Registry. And I started this years ago, and it's changed names, but we interview people that want to work. They're self-employed. We also do a reference checking on any jobs they've had, and we do a criminal background check. So these people are as clean as we can get them. There's no guarantee, I tell people, but we've not ever had to really weed anybody out doing this process. It's really a good process. And then the Ombudsman program, I'll explain that to you. It is a program, it actually started back in 1977 when President Nixon went to visit an Army buddy in a nursing home. And he was just appalled at the lack of care, the conditions, and he is the one that started the Ombudsman program for nursing homes at that time. It's now extended to assisted living. And it's just, I can't tell you, it's one of the most important programs I think there is, because they need somebody. I am an ombudsman, so they need somebody that goes in, and I don't go in with my guns leveled at them. I go in and say, how's it going? I talk to residents, and I try to work with the facility. I'm not there as a sheriff. I want to work with them. I want to be successful with the residents, but also with the facility. And right now, I started doing this job. We had 6 nursing homes. We now have 6 nursing homes and 16 assisted living. So I visit all of those every month.
Wow.
It's extremely interesting. A couple of them are strictly memory care. So, of course, those are locked down. We have good facilities in this area. I can tell you that. I've been around the state, and we have caregivers that really care. Our problem right now, of course, is COVID. I can't go in a lot of times because if they have an outbreak, then I can't go in. And the other thing is, it's sad for the residents because some of them have just died of loneliness because they have no visitors. So it's so important. And I think we've grown with this COVID in the respect that we've learned how to do it better. We have a screen, a plastic screen we put between the resident and a family member. It's better than the window because you almost had to read lips with the window shut. But it is working, and we are allowing those kind of things. It's been a real struggle for everybody, and needless to say, staffing is at an all-time low. So if anybody calls and said they don't have enough staff, I'll say, show me a place that does, because I don't know it. And I will defend the facilities on that part because they are doing the best they can. It's tough right now. It's really tough. So let's see. I knew I'd spend more time on Ombudsman. We also do something that we just started. We've done it off and on. Now we're taking it very serious. When COVID hit, we are calling people that want to be called every day, 5 days a week. And believe me, it's a very powerful tool because we'll get a call and somebody doesn't sound right. And we'll say, are you okay? And if we really don't think they are, we go check on them. And invariably, they may have had a stroke, but they're just not fully into it by the time we get there. So we have gone and checked on them. It's kind of like with the Meals on Wheels people. Years ago, one of them came in and said she's not answering, and she always answers. So we went over there, and she was on the ground, unconscious, so we had to call the ambulance. So these little programs seem small, but they're huge. And on the other hand, too, getting a call every day, they might never talk to anybody, and they have this little perky voice, the one that does it, and it perks me up, so I'm sure it perks them up.
So how would someone get on that calling list?
Just call us. Yeah, just call us and say, I want to be called, and we can do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
So
a great program.
And what are you calling the program?
Friendly Visitor.
Friendly
I
Visitor.
We've changed some names. Well, actually, no, I call it telephone reassurance. I'm sorry.
Telephone reassurance.
Yeah.
And so this could be, we could give a referral for someone that maybe isn't signed up for any of your other programs, but they would be able to have this telephone reassurance.
Absolutely.
That's a really great service.
It is a powerful service. And I'll tell you, a lot of things have come out of this. That and the drivers for meals. There was one time when a driver went to deliver the meal, and the man couldn't get his belt buckled. Well, he'd had a stroke, but he didn't know it, and he was still trying to do this, and they knew right away.
Oh.
So these volunteer positions that people do are so amazing, and we can't be doing all these things, and so they are the eyes and ears out in that community, and they love the people they deliver meals to. They have relationships with them. It's a really powerful tool for both sides, for us to know what's going on and for the person who's living alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've gotten calls from your volunteers before with a mutual person, and honestly, we probably saved lives.
I believe that
because of not just the nutritional support, but that eyes seeing them. And what we do is if we find out Meals on Wheels is there, we'll kind of toggle around that schedule because there's no need for two people to be there at the same time.
Right.
But for somebody that needs to have eyes on them more than once a day, that's just a cool program.
It really is. I love that program myself.
It's so impactful too. I had done a home visit a couple weeks ago, and the family, they did not actually have Meals on Wheels, but a neighbor of theirs had Meals on Wheels. And so they were talking about it and how important that visit was every day. And yeah, it's very cool. We've worked with, oftentimes with you guys on situations where we are scheduling. It's maybe somebody that needs more care, but they don't have the funding to be able to pay for 24/7 home care. So we get that schedule in. Maybe we're in the morning. You guys take the lunch shift. We take the night shift. And it works out really, really well.
Oh, one of those things with your volunteers, it's the same with our caregivers, is I've actually had, or you've had people show up for their lunch stark naked.
Oh, yeah.
So the stories that our volunteers and our caregivers could give are very humorous. A lot of them are a blessing because we were able to get, like you said, somebody had a stroke. They didn't know it, but just having that insight, big deal.
I think our community is a really caring community, and I've been around the state, and believe it or not, there's a turf war going on between agencies and between Agency on Aging and other programs, and it amazes me that goes on. So I have to tell a great story on Julie.
Oh boy.
So when we contracted with Agape at that time to do services, they were just really getting started in it, and we had somebody that needed help moving out because they had a deadline. And Julie called me and said, okay, I don't know if we can do this. And I said, okay, so I'll run over there. I got there. There's Julie packing boxes as fast as she can. It was an amazing sight. I should have put it on video. So that's an example of what people do in this community. People go the extra mile, and it just is such a uplifting feeling to know you're part of that. It's, you can have a lot of jobs, but to be part of something that is so big in your community and reaching out is really a gift, I think.
Oh my goodness. The definition of a caregiver or a volunteer is that extra big heart.
Yep.
One of the things that we kind of did, it took on a life of its own, but you helped us with that healthcare coalition.
Oh, yes.
And that's a quarterly meeting where we do work as a community together. Everybody gets together and we just walk around the room and say who we are, what do we do, what's new in our world, so that people will be networking to be able to share that information for more options for the people that otherwise would never know that there's all this help.
Well, especially I send people there. Anybody new in our realm, in the caregiving realm, I say you've got to go to that because you'll learn more at that meeting with everybody sitting there talking about what they're doing. And so to me, that's kind of the introduction of this community and what we're doing out there. Yeah, that's been a long time. I have to come again.
I really feel that you have been a big player in the inclusive environment in this community, agencies working together. And I'm very proud of this community because we don't have that turf war. We are all taking care of people and we work so well together. But interesting that you don't see that in every community.
Right. We've done a bunch of traveling, and we have always made it an effort to stop at the different agencies, and every one of them has a different personality.
Yes, they do.
It's really interesting. And I always go back because Susan's sitting right here. My queen of the Agency on Aging is on my shoulder. And I just always remember you saying how our community does work so cohesively.
They really do, and we all have a different way of doing things, and that's not wrong. I have to tell another story. So this is an example of another community, and I won't say where. So, Ombudsman and Adult Protective Services work together because if we have a complaint in a facility, they're in there, I'm in there, whatever, and we work well together. But in one other community, the ombudsman in that community stood in front of the door with her arms out and said, "This is my turf, back off." And she wasn't kidding. And I said, "You got to be kidding! Why would somebody think that
Oh
you
my
know you can't do this alone? You need APS. You need all of our agencies working together
Yeah.
to be successful.
Yeah.
And not one of us is any better than the other one. We
Oh
just
my
have different
goodness.
talents and different passions. I'm truly passionate about this. I'll probably be my last day working will be as they put me into a nursing home because I don't see myself retiring anytime soon. And I think I'm gifted with the fountain of youth. I read the fountain of youth is enjoying what you do and doing it the best you can. And that's what keeps you young and passionate.
Oh.
And I think it's powerful to have that. And I really think I'd become a slug and just lay around the house in my pajamas eating chocolate. So I think I'll stay where I am.
Yes, why, yes, I am eating bonbons.
Well, I think you're going to have to, when you do go to retire, I think there's going to be a big community out there that's going to say, are you sure? I don't think we're not ready for you to
this
retire
encyclopedia,
yet.
this walking encyclopedia of all of the community resources. We're just so lucky to have you. And we need you to know that in December we'll have been opened, I was going to say married. Feels like I'm married. We have been partners now for 14 years.
Wow.
On this crazy ride. And you have really, truly been one of the first people that really impacted us so very much. And we look to you as a mentor.
I appreciate that.
And you have taught us a lot. And we've been through a lot together. I'm
Oh,
glad
boy.
that story you told wasn't,
Oh.
it could have gone any direction.
No, it was so touching to see you packing boxes and you were just working as hard as you could. And I thought, I almost want to sneak out, but I helped.
Julie's got this. Well, I think we've always tried to, put our money where our mouth is, so
Right.
to speak, and be good examples. And, as owners of Agape, now Ipaga Home Care, try to set that example for our caregivers and for other community people so that they know they can rely on us and trust what we're going to do.
And it's not an easy job because let's face it, whether you have a staff that's going out or staff in a nursing home, it reflects on your business. So you have to be on top of that. I mean, you can have the best of intentions, but that can take one person that kind of throws you to the ground. And so that's a whole job in itself. But for the most part, the ones I work with are just wonderful, and I have my little people out there that I have secret sources I won't tell. So my staff will come and say, "What about this?" I said, "I'll let you know. You're going to call your secret source." Yep, because I know if I give them the number, they'll start doing it and burn the bridges, and then I won't have anybody. So
Right. No, that's good to keep that.
Yep. That's part of the game is knowing who to call
Who to
when
call.
and all of that. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah. What else do you have going on? Boy, that's everything that was on my list. We've used every single one of those in terms of referring people to you. We've come and picked up Meals on Wheels for people that you actually box them up for the weekend, or they get a week of 5.
Right.
But they can put them in the freezer, and then they have those. And then also, besides the food being really good, they're huge portions. So a lot of people will only eat
That's right.
half at lunch and then warm up the rest for dinner. So they're taken care of.
you should watch the paper because the senior center, which is on one side of it's in the same building, and the dining room, they do some of the greatest things. They do bingo every Thursday. They play some kind of cards. I don't know. It varies. Bridge and what's the other one? I can't remember. Throw dice. And they really do fun things. And one year they did a fashion show. And I wish I could have taken the time to be there, but they wore things like 6-carat necklace.
Wow.
6 carats hanging off of her neck.
Oh,
Wow.
literally a carrot.
It was hysterical.
Oh,
it
my
was
gosh.
hysterical. And like I said, I was busy that day, but they do really interesting things, and they're a massive group of people. They're the caregivers that are going out delivering meals. They do things in our community not as well known. So it's a fun place. I really am glad we're all together. It was before we were all separated, and we didn't know what they were doing, and they didn't know what we were doing.
Oh my gosh. And the building, how long have you been in that new building?
I'm going to say a couple years now.
And it's just a great facility. You used to be in that red barn south of town, and you, to get to you, we had to walk through the dining room, through the other offices, and then you were clear back
I was
in
with
the
the
back.
canned goods.
You were
Literally, I was with the canned goods.
yeah.
And that building was built so that the pavement was higher. So when spring came, the runoff came down through my office. So I had everything on 2x4s.
Oh, gosh.
And then I had birds flying around because when they were unloading the commodities, and spiders on the wall, that put me down many times. I'd go screaming out of my room, and I had a spider catcher that came in and took care of it.
So you're very, very grateful to be where you are.
Oh, yes. It's right here in town.
Yes.
And just a great facility.
It really is. It's awesome. Parking could be better, but that's true
Always.
anywhere in this city. So, but
Absolutely.
it is right next to the health department. We have a skywalk that connects us, and we take walks to get up off there away from our desk for a while. So it's a great facility.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, what else do you have to share about the Agency on Aging? That was a lot.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So does every, so there's 6 or how many regions in Montana?
10.
10 regions.
And they've all been they did something with the reservation, and I think they've now, I don't know what they've done. At first it was part of one, and now it's a separate one. But they all have their own way of doing things. And it's really fun to go into any little community, like even, Arlee. They all have these senior centers that they're real cute and cozy. And then others are extravagant. It's very interesting. And they're all really proud of their building. The Big Fork Senior Center is going to get a new building. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means they're going to build. I kind of think it might, but don't quote me. And they always had a nice one. It sits up on a hill overlooking the elementary school. So, there's money to do these things, so that's the good news.
Wow. Now, didn't your mother actually do dancing lessons at the Columbia Falls?
Yep.
Swing, line dancing.
Line dancing. So she's been doing that. So when COVID hit, it was really sad because you couldn't do that anymore. But I do believe they're back up and going. And every now and again, she gets to lead the dance when the head instructor is not available. So she loves it. She practices and takes it very seriously.
Oh, I love line
Isn't
dancing.
that great
Yep.
exercise
Yeah.
too?
Yep.
Oh, that's wonderful. So there's a lot of opportunities out there that people aren't aware of.
That's true. And we have newsletters we put out so they could get that. And we have a whole brochure, racks of stuff that they could educate themselves on, like powers of attorney. And we do a lot of Medicaid, long-term Medicaid applications. One of my main jobs is educating families who are freaking out because they don't know anything about this arena. And so I talk them down off the light and say, okay, just here's what we do. I'm going to send you a list, and then you call me back. And I give it to them in pieces because it's so overwhelming with Medicaid and then waiver. So that is a huge resource we didn't used to do so much of. But OPA doesn't do it anymore, so I deal with probably 5 a day.
Oh, my goodness.
How do you have enough time to do all of these things?
I don't know how I do that. I think I just eat a lot of chocolate and get kind of hyperactive.
Perfect. What was that? Something about a 5-year-old and a candy unattended or
Running
something?
through with a cake.
Cake. Yes. Well, Susan, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on. It's always a joy to get to spend time with you.
Yes.
And again, you believed in us when we were babies. And so you've been a huge mentor to us.
Didn't you write us a really beautiful letter that when we got Small Business of the Year for the state of Montana, she was one of our references because of the belief that you've had in us?
You guys have, I'm not just saying this because I'm really not. I'm not that. But you guys really go the extra mile. I had known that from the day I met you. And I'm grateful for that because we still may have to step in, but when you've got an organization that's doing the very best they can, that makes it work. And so I appreciate you guys and what you do.
Yeah, same. We got a mutual admiration
Yes, we do.
society going on here.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, we thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah. I told you it wasn't
not
going to be scary
not as
at
bad.
all.
You don't do those morning shows where you prank people?
Yeah.
Not yet.
With a coffee talk.
I have to, Julie, you do have a saying in here from one of our caregivers, but I have one that I feel like is really important. You know, we usually end our podcast with some type of a grandma saying or a grandpa saying. And I always thought this had come from my husband's dad, but it didn't. It actually came from my husband, Kevin. And the quote is, whether the job big or small, do it right or not at all. And that really makes me think about you and all of the things that you guys are doing at the Agency on Aging and bringing to this community. So thank you
it
for
is
that.
a gift that we all feel that.
Yeah.
Not everybody does.
It's a passion.
Yeah.
So
I'm grateful for that. And we all know where it came from.
That's fantastic.
Oh,
well, to our viewers out there, we thank you for tuning in. We know there's a lot of things that you could be doing with your time. We do ask that you subscribe. You can do that on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube. You can get little snippets of what's going on if you go onto Instagram or TikTok. And also leave us reviews. We love those, especially the good ones. And share us with your friends. You can join our Apaga Care and Share Facebook group and join in the discussion.
Yep, please do. We'd love to have more interaction with everybody. We're always looking for a favorite verse. What does it mean to you? And that grandma saying.
Yes.
We love our grandmas around here.
Submit those grandma sayings to us, and you can do that at the caregivingpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. We thank you for that.
Yeah. I guess that's it. So peace out, Girl Scouts.
Thank you, Susan, for your
Thank
time.
you. I enjoyed it.
Oh,
Thank
what
you.
a pleasure. Have a good day, everybody.